Hey, what's up? It's your boy Lightwork. Starting to get into my teaching series here. So today, or right now, I'm just gonna be sharing some background on my name, Lightwork the Alchemist, and yeah, I may have to chop this up into a couple different videos because seems like it's a lot of information. But anyways, so light work for me has a double meaning. It may possibly have more, but I don't know. I'm just gonna focus on the two. So light work is kind of just like it sounds. Light work bringing the light into darkness. Alchemy is the process of transmuting darkness into light, negative into positive, despair into hope. And so this is how that I was given the name Lightwork the Alchemist. Right? When you acknowledge your gifts and you co-create with God, He makes the work easy, hence the word light. Meaning with Him it's not going to be heavy. It's not going to be something that's going to be a heavy lift, a heavy burden. The alchemist process is intimately linked with the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies, which gives you balance. And so, I mean, that's ultimately what you're trying to seek, right? Is the balance between your light and your dark. And so, as a light worker, you have to go through intense it's not easy. You go through like a spiritual like training, so to speak. It's like a spiritual training, which is called initiation. And the reason that you have to go through this spiritual training and get the experience is so that you'll be able to break generational curses, traumas, cycles, and patterns, all for the purpose of healing your ancestral lineage, healing those ancestral curses. And you can be a light worker without knowing the dark side of things. So therefore, I mean, if you are someone that has experienced going through different things with different people and not really understanding like why it's happening, and you know that you yourself have a pure heart, you're a good person, you have good intent, you could very well be a chosen one, a light worker. But a lot of people, I feel like, don't even feel like or realize that they live their lives in darkness a lot of times, because you really have the whole a lot of the world that lives in darkness. But then if you have, I don't know, a friend, a family member, who you feel like is a good person, and you just don't realize that what they do or how they think or what they hold in their heart is really dark. And so some of the ways that you can recognize darkness, right? Because it manifests as poverty. It manifests as lack mindset, depression, sickness, habitual lying, deceptiveness, whisperings, gossip, evil intent, someone that is like trying to exhaust you, like trying to drain your energy. And I'm going to get into more of it as we go, so that it kind of all ties together and it makes sense. So, but for a light worker, right, in order for you to be a light worker, you have to experience a lot of these things, acknowledge them, and then transmute those negative experiences into positive experiences. And how divine alchemy comes into play, right, is when you have done the work, right, and now you are in alignment with God. And when you're working in alignment with God, you want to trust him for everything, right? So 1 Peter 5:7 says, casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. Trust him at his word, because he's faithful to his word. And then you have Psalm 55:22, which says, cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. So when you're confronted with someone that is attacking you, you don't want to retaliate. You don't want to seek revenge. Because remember, the word tells us in Romans 12:19, avenge not yourselves, rather what you want to do is what he instructs us in Matthew 5:38 through 39. And you could also find it in Luke 6:29. And unto him that smiteth thee on the one cheek, offer also the other. So, and I know a lot of times people's like, oh, I'm not going to turn, they slap me on my left cheek, I'm not going to turn my right so they can slap me. And it's, I mean, you could really take it that literal. However, remember when you don't retaliate and you don't receive revenge, it's not a sign or a move of weakness ever. It's really what it's saying is telling the enemy that, oh, like these things that you're doing to me don't move me, right? Because I have the power to stand against it. So that's the way you want to think when someone is coming up against you. And it could be something as small as someone trying to like push your buttons, like doing something to you where they know it's aggravating or it's agitating you, but they continue to do it. And so instead of reacting, right, because they're looking for the reaction, you don't react. Like in one of my last posts, what I said is that instead of me reacting to the situation, I just got up and left. I removed myself from the situation. And that's what a lot of times you want to do, is just remove yourself from the situation. Like you're taking your power back from that energy, from that space, from that person, whomever or whatever it is. All right, so I got to do a part 2. I'm going to check y'all on part 2. Peace, light work.